did do extremely subtle things within scenes.
The editor is really shaping the actor's performance.
I've seen these elements and I make a responsive cut.
I had to cut 5 full versions of the scene before I even did version 1.
It's all about setting up the anticipation of what's going to happen.
What is it, Dad?
It has a very simple editorial style, so I had a lot of second thoughts, like should I really show something that doesn't really show the editing? And then I thought I could talk about how, you know, all the choices that were made that are not apparent. Even though it's totally linear, and most of the Savages is, I don't think we really restructured like almost anything. We did do extremely subtle things within scenes. So for instance, in this sequence, when the driving scene, which is the third of the scenes, used to be a dialogue scene, which was an interchange between the three of them about the father's girlfriend, and he said something that betrayed the fact that he was going senile, and they talked about the weather and the snow, and then they laughed awkwardly, and it was a great moment. But you know, for various reasons, it felt awkward, or it felt unnecessary. So this is a case of where we felt that the emotion that was coming off of the previous scene was best extended, and using that other scene as a continuation of the emotion rather than going in another trajectory and breaking that emotion. So there was a lot available, and after like spending 2 days just going through that tiny little scene and trying to make the dialogue work, we gutted it completely, and it became a driving montage. I think the other interesting thing about the process of that scene is that musically, once we got our final score, we felt intuitively that it was correct, but it wasn't working in the sound mix. We didn't know why, and eventually we figured out, you know, between the music editor and myself and the composer and Tamara and the mixer, that it was giving away too much too soon, in that it was too thick. And then in the process of, you know, 20 minutes or something on the mix stage, we figured out how to gradually sneak in that score so that it begins only with the celeste and I think there's one cello for 2 measures, and then in the next 2 measures we added the guitar or something, and then in the last 2 measures we added the bass. And that way you could keep it clear enough at the beginning to hear the windshield wipers, which are part of the rhythm of that moment, and then eventually it would hit sort of a musical climax. So I guess I just wanted to emphasize that all of those decisions, which are so minute, are under the purview of the editor, even if they're not picture related. And you know, like the job goes all the way through to that you know, final result.